Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Sunny Coast's very own podcast called The Referral Way, Riding the Tide to Success. My name's Tony Cross, and by day I've got a car brokering business called Drive Connect. But today I'm joined by Paul from First Point Finance. Welcome along, Paul. Good to have you on the show.
Thanks a lot, Tony. It's great to be here. Thanks a lot.
So, look, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you do, specialities, that sort of thing.
Sure. So look, First Point Finance, our goal really is to make finance easy for people. It's something that I've done for a long time, so I have a lot of knowledge and experience, but it can be a bit of a minefield if people start to step into that arena. And my job overall really is to find and secure the best business loans for business customers out there. They're already busy, as we all know, running a business. And my job is to take the hard work away, but also to look across the whole of the marketplace for them, so that they don't just have to pick their bank up and hope for pick the phone up and ask their bank and hope for the best. But my job is to really look for finance for things like cash flow opportunities, asset and equipment finance, commercial property purchases, or even a business purchase itself.
Yeah, great. And so it's a new business, but you've obviously had a bit of a background in the finance sector, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
great.
I've done a long time in the finance sector, so this is just using that skill to help others for a change.
Yeah, good. And I guess arguably one of the best benefits of that is that they're dealing with you, and you've got a sort of a panel of people you can go to that best suits their needs and what they're chasing, obviously.
Yeah, I think the key there is that if you pick up the phone to one place, they're going to talk to you about what they've got. The advantage that I have as a broker is that I can look across the whole of that marketplace for someone, and they don't have to wear their shoe leather out doing it.
Yeah, good. Now, what about a review? We hear mortgage brokers and that's those type of people say to us, get a review done, that sort of thing. Does that work in the business world as well? If I've got business loans, is it
Yeah.
worth getting you in to do that?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's like anything, isn't it? That what you take today isn't necessarily the best item for you further down the track. And
Yeah.
I think we've all seen examples of it was right today, but it's not necessarily right tomorrow. The key in that, though, is to try and understand the short, medium, and long term of any process or anything that a business does to try and make things like loans as flexible as possible so that they do move with somebody much as you would do in many other scenarios.
Yeah. So as far as a review goes, is there a trigger for that, like a change in business circumstance, or is it something that people should just get done every 12, 18 months, 2 years? Is there some sort of trigger for that?
Yeah, look, I think we've all sort of heard, haven't we, the 12 months scenario. And it's probably about right. But there are trigger points through the year, whether it's tax time and the tax office wants to charge you a large amount of money and then charge you a fair bit for having that borrowing from them. And at the end of tax years, or if your business is looking to grow or do something different, or the equipment and the assets have started to look a bit old and they're not providing the productivity that they were, then those are all triggers through the year. But yes, we use a 12 months term to guide people if they don't see something specific.
Yeah, right. Excellent advice. Yeah, no, that's good. So look, let's get on to BNI for a minute. What led you
Yep.
to joining BNI?
That was an easzy one for me, really. It was about expanding my network. And I've lived on the coast now for the last 20 plus years. And I've got a network of people that I knew in the roles that I'd had before. But working for myself in a business, I wanted to expand that network in relation to that business. And as I did that, I also knew that you never really stop learning. And the best place to learn is from other business people. So for me, it was about joining a network where you can build trust with people over a period of time, learn about them, they learn about you. And there's a structured approach to that. I do like structure. I am a believer in that structure liberates. And the weekly approach to these groups were something that really worked for me. And the visits that I did started to prove that for me.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That structure I mean, it's one of the things that I think a lot of people enjoy
Yeah,
about BNI and myself personally.
yeah.
Our chapter meets Thursday mornings, and I've said it before on this podcast. It sort of becomes a start and end of my week that Thursday. You know what I mean?
Comes
You
around
get
quickly, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, mate, I tell you what, we're right in November on things now. So this
Exactly right.
podcast will probably take 6 or 8 weeks to come out, but geez, we're November. So by the time we're watching this back, it'll probably be nearly Christmas
Christmas.
time. That's a
Oh, well,
bit
Merry
scary.
Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, oh my God. So look, you touched on a little bit there, but just let's expand on how you've used BNI to enhance your network and how you've used that in your business.
Yeah, look, for the first part that I think I really started to learn wasn't one that I'd actually planned on. There's two elements to my business. I do home loans, but the focus for me for BNI particularly was on commercial loans, and the regularity of having to come in every week and promote that side of the business really did force me down an understanding of what direction I could take, what strategy I could take. And as you have to start to promote your business, it actually told me a lot about my business and what things worked for other people in that group. What would they understand when I talked about what I do? So it was really just about focusing on the strategy for me of what to focus on with the group and how to put that across. But then the accountability of the weekly opportunity to learn from others, and the term givers gain really does work. And you do learn by understanding that, you know what, if you help others and you help the group, there is an opportunity there. And I think if you really want to get involved in that, and I think we all understand that that works, really it was the accountability of turning up and actually doing that worked for me. And as I've said to many people, so the people in my group will know this, I am a complete and utter natural introvert. So the accountability of coming out every Tuesday from my hole in my head and getting out of my head from numbers and data and strategy and coming out and building that network really works for me.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. Very very common thread. People, yeah, they come out more, become
Yeah,
better salesmen for their business, I guess is the way to put
absolutely.
it,
Yep.
because
Yeah,
you've got to hone those skills,
that's right.
every week when you stand up in front of people.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
so look, and I guess we could. The next question is like, how have you used BNI to solve any problems in your business? And I'm not saying that that's a problem, but and I'm sure you've got cases, but it sort of blends into that question a little bit, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Like
it does.
it's made you a better salesman, made you better at your business. Can you
Yeah,
elaborate on any other ways that that's worked for you?
yeah, look, so it does on a number of ways, really, doesn't it, Tony? That it allows you to expand your network. So it does force you to start thinking slightly differently. But you know what? It doesn't matter who's in that room. There is something to learn from everybody.
Mm.
And I know it sounds old and corny, but it is really true. There are people in there that have built absolutely great businesses over a period of time. And just listening to them about what they've done, the successes that they've had, even the things that didn't work for them, you learn from those. And I like to listen to those opportunities and just take something from those ones that really mean and resonate to me, and that I enjoy. But also the way that I think it helped is visitors, because I just thought at first visitors was just about getting people to join. And whilst there's an element of that,
Yeah.
my very first client out of BNI was from my second week when a visitor came along for that week, looked at the group, and about 3 weeks later, I got a call out the blue from them. So again, it's an opportunity to expand your network. And I think that's been probably the biggest steps for me. Um, Having to run your own business is how do you expand and promote what you do?
I'm so glad you said that about the visitor coming, because that is something that we talk about a lot in our chapter and the chapter that I'm a director consultant for.
Yeah,
It's Yes, I know that's how you get people to join your chapter, by bringing visitors, but bigger than that is just putting people in the room that can use the services of your fellow members.
yeah,
I don't know how many times I've seen it where someone comes in, with no, they're never going to join because it doesn't suit them for whatever
Yeah,
reason. But all of a sudden, they've got a gardener and they've got a finance guy, and
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic way,
Look, it is, and I think it keeps you on, it keeps you in the right direction as a group, and you learn from those visitors coming in. You're expanding your network, but you're expanding your skill set about talking to people that you didn't know, because that's not natural for everybody to do. Like I said, if you're an
Mm.
introvert, it's not a natural one, but actually, it's a great environment to do it.
Yeah, and look, I know you haven't been in BNI that long, but you'll find, I guarantee you, that in time, and you start taking some visit along, whether they be friends, colleagues, whatever,
Yeah.
within 12 months or so, all of a sudden you'll be the guy that everyone comes to, right? You'll be like, oh, bring Paul, he's got that business. They never remember what it is, but oh,
That's
in
right.
your business group of people, have you got a guy that does this,
Yeah.
and before you
Yeah.
know it, you'll be referring people everywhere. So look,
Absolutely.
when it comes to BNI, have you got a success story that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, look, I think it was one that really helped prove my own model when I first started thinking about setting the business up. And we all have to think about what our unique selling point is, or our niche area. And mine was experience, and understanding business processes really well. But there was a referral client given to me in very early days from someone within the group. And that individual was passed to me because they were struggling in their own business scenario where they were under stress, they were concerned about the future, and they couldn't see a way forward. And it was a great opportunity to sit with someone that had spent many years in their business, but had reached a phase of growth that was really growing way, way above where they'd expect it to pretty fast. And that expansion brings challenges. It sounds like a great opportunity, but it can actually cause businesses to go under if they don't resolve it. And I spent time with that client, understanding their business, first of all. They know their business really well. I know finance really well. The more I understand about their business and about them, the easier it is to search the market for the right solution. Excuse me. So I did that and spent a lot of time finding the right solution. But the big win-win for me and them was that I was able to move beyond them phoning up a bank and saying, here, I want something to resolve this. Okay, thanks, there is one. I was able to put a number of people in front of that business owner, show him the right solutions, but show him that those things could grow as that business grew. And it wasn't necessarily places that they would have looked before. And I think we all experience it, but when you get positive feedback from a client, it makes you feel a whole lot better. And that was my first journey through the local BNI that I joined.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I get it 100%. You're right. Expansion, it can be nerve-wracking. You don't know what to do, especially when it involves borrowing more money or freeing up cash flow, whatever. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, yeah, you're in a world that you're not used to, and sometimes you do arrive there quickly. So yeah, it's great
Yeah,
that
yeah. And I think for them, it took them from a journey of not seeing a future to actually realizing that the pathway didn't need to be that stressful.
yeah, no, fantastic. So, given your BNI journey to date, what's one bit of advice that you would give to someone listening?
There's three bits here, really, I think, and that's visit, visit, and visit. I've looked at BNI concept before, dabbled around with it, but never really done anything about it. Visiting the first 2 to 3 groups made a really big difference to me. There's no pressure, as we said earlier. It is just an awareness opportunity. But go and visit some groups, see how they interact with people, and see where you could fit within that group. Look at the values that BNI has and say to yourself, do you think they would work for you? And understand how you could join a group and how you can impact that group positively and start to see things come back from that group. So learn about a group. And if you join that group, learn about the people in it, learn about how you could help. And then once you've done that and started to do that, and again, I wasn't expecting to do this early on, but go and visit other groups. It's an absolute great opportunity to expand your network across groups. I hadn't even thought about that, but started to see people do that and started to think, you know what, that's another opportunity for awareness, but also for learning. And I think that helped prove to me that the opportunity around BNI is much, much wider than we first think.
Yes, no, correct. I say to people all the time exactly that. Get out, visit
Yeah,
other chapters.
yeah,
Let everyone know you're there. Even if you've got the same similar category in another chapter, still
yeah,
go, because not
yeah,
everything's the right fit. You're still
yeah,
meeting other people. You're still expanding that network.
yeah.
So yeah, no, great advice. All right, BNI core value time. What's the one core value that resonates with you the most?
It's building relationships for me, really. I think they all work. I think all of those core values work really well, and you can't argue with any of them. And if you work to them all, there will be opportunity back out. But building relationships for me is the key. You can't work alone to start with. We think we can, but we can't. You are far more successful if you expand yourself through other people, because again, that givers gain really does work. But building relationships for me is where it all really starts. If you know other people and you trust other people and they trust you, the world's your oyster after that.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I tell you what, Paul, for a relatively new BNI member who has shot to the top and doing really well in his chapter, hence the reason we invited you on the podcast. You've really got it all together, mate. You're going to have a very successful BNI journey, I can tell.
It's been a
Yeah,
great journey so far, that's for sure.
that's been great. So, look, how can listeners get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
Look, I'm probably a bit old school here. I've got social media, I've got a website, but you know what? Message me or phone me, and I'll happily chat to anybody, whether it's about what I do or not. Again, build relationships with people is the key. So I'll have a discussion with anybody about anything that they think I can help them with. And it's not just about doing business, it is about meeting other people and being able to help each other.
Yeah, correct. Well said. Well, Paul, it's been a pleasure. We haven't crossed paths yet because
We
we've been
will.
in different places, but definitely looking forward to scheduling a one-to-one with you and
Be
catching up with
great.
you in
We'd love
person.
to.
Be great to have a chat. Got a really good philosophy on it, on business and work ethic and everything. So I wish you every success in BNI. Keep powering along, and we'll catch up and have that
Will do.
one-to-one very soon.